What's going on, everyone? It has occurred to me that many people are confused as to how the elemental resistance defense works still somehow, despite my many attempts to enlighten everyone about how it works. I have received a lot of questions about non-attribute damage from enemies, how to actually calculate what defense does for you, as well as elemental resistance, and I'll go over all of that in this video. Right here we have the stats screen. You'll see all of my resistances are as low as humanly possible. I got them to 12. I can't really get them lower, and we'll go to Deadbride to test some stuff. In my opinion, Deadbride is the best tester. The intercept battle has two attacks in particular that I'm interested in. The first attack is the attack that she opens up with, and that is this attack right here. I purposely don't want to get hit with it for purposes of elemental resistance training. I have no elemental resistance modules on Ajax, and the second one is this ice globe attack. So as you can see, the globe does 425 to 406 damage. While there are reasons to the ranges in Deadbride's ice globe, what really matters is that is 100% predicated on your elemental resistance. If we go and we equip something with chill resistance on it, here you can see the attack does between 299 and 314. This would mean that one simple elemental resistance component gives you about 25% damage resistance against elemental attacks. All right, so first I'm going to go over damage resist. Some people may not know how damage resistance works in video games. Basically, if you have 100 damage coming at you and then you have a 25% damage resistance, you will take 75 damage. The damage resistance formula inside of the first descendant, at the time of making this video, formulas can change. All it takes is a little clickety clackety of some button knackery. It is currently 150 divided by 150 plus the square root of the defense or resistance. Defense and resistance are independent of each other. For instance, my chill resistance was resisting Deadbride's damage. Here on my Ajax, you can see a 3,439 chill resistance. So our chill resistance is 3,439. The square root of which is 58.64. We add that to 150 and we get 208.64. So 150 divided by 208.64 gives us 71. But we then have to take 1 and subtract this to find our true damage resistance. And that gives us a 28.1% reduction in chill damage. We know we have a 28.1 damage resistance to chill, and tell if this is worth it putting on our external component. Now, honestly, 28% is a lot just for a little substat on a component. And then if we want to go higher, say if we wanted to put an elemental resistance module on our build, we should use one of the maximized resistances. The maximized resistances will give us a 180% increase of our 3400 component. So 3400 times 1.8 will give us a 9500 overall stat. No, 3400 times 1.8 is not 9500. This is what we get on our build after we equip the module. So if we equip the maximized chill resistance module, it will give us 9,500 chill resistance. That will take our 28% to a 40%. Now, if you look on Gluttony, Gluttony says that the recommended resistance is 20,000. So you go from 9,500 to 20,000. It will give you a 50% damage reduction. Can't really think of this as a 10% decrease in damage anymore because you went from 95 to 20K. So the difference in between this is 10%. So you are increasing your damage resistance by another 25% if you go from 40 to 50. If you go from 40% to 50%, you have decreased the amount of damage that you were taking before by 25%. This is only on the elemental damage. The same goes for defense. If you go from 20,000 defense to 40,000 defense, which was the previous recommended defense I had recommended, but things have changed since then. We have set bonuses. We know a lot more about descendants. This will give you a 58% decrease in damage resistance. This is why I say kind of stop at 40,000 defense, because to go from 40,000, the health that you stop taking becomes marginalized. So I honestly do think anything over 50,000 defense is kind of wasting your time still. And I don't think you should go higher than 20,000 elemental resistance, just simply because it's kind of hard to get to that point. You would need a gold stat on an external component and 2 modules. Anything over 9,500 is still a waste of your time. So I've heard a lot of myths about non-attribute damage. It's a non-attribute damage type that comes up in the in-screen results. There is non-attribute, and then there is firearm attack. So Deadbride's Pew Pew is firearm attack, but on the in-screen results, it labels it at non-attribute. The other non-attribute types of damage are environmental damage. So environmental attack and non-attribute damage are looped into one at the end results screen. Defense will do nothing to mitigate environmental damage. Defense will do stuff to mitigate the non-attribute damage that pops up in the in damage screen. The non-attribute damage that pops up in the in screen usually comes from the enemy's firearm attack, hence Deadbride's Pew Pew. It is important to note that there are in fact damage ratios as far as the attacks in the game goes. So Deadbride's wrist rocket is 100% physical or non-attribute or firearm attack. It doesn't really matter how you label that. Then the globe is 100% elemental damage. And then the frost missile is a certain ratio of a combination of the two. I don't know what that ratio is. Doesn't really matter. Each component has a elemental resistance on it. If you want good elemental resistance, I highly suggest if you're running a set, you go farm the set that you want with the elemental resistances on each one of the things, so you can just plug and play that component. The Slayer set is something I have elemental resistances of for each one because I simply run the Slayer on many descendants. So defense does go off of the non-attribute damage in the end detail summary whenever you finish a mission. That summary will tell you how much damage you've taken, how much of everything comes from. Environmental effects of the game, the only thing they're mitigated by are damage reduction modules such as auto immunity. And that's all. I just wanted to clear up some misconceptions on the damage in the first Descendant. So the next series that I want to start working on is the first Descendant Mythbusters. So if you have heard a lot of things that sound like either malarkey or that you're really interested in, comment in the comments some myths that you've heard about how the game functions. Check out my channel if you like how I do content. Consider subscribing. I do a lot of testing on Twitch. So if you like that, there will be Twitch in the description. Y'all have a sick day and peace out.